Let's join in. The chairman of the company, Mr. R.C. Bhargav, he joins in to share his perspective on the ongoing supply-demand issue that the company is currently facing. Mr. Bhargav, very good morning. Thanks very much for taking time out and joining us in ET Now. First, let's talk about the production schedule, which is currently ongoing. Can we see a strong production ramp-up in the third quarter? Because that is a big concern for your company, sir.
The third quarter won't have. The third quarter is the ongoing quarter, and I don't see this quarter being very strong, because in October we lost production due to the strike. 40-odd thousand cars were lost due to the strike. The second line in Manesar is yet to reach full capacity, so that also will not happen in this quarter. It will happen in the last quarter. So the full capability of producing the maximum number of cars with the installed capacity will actually be in the fourth quarter, not the third quarter. Subject to that, of course, we are now gradually building up and increasing production, subject to market conditions.
So, Mr. Bhargav, what is the biggest threat for Maruti? Competition, high fuel prices, rising interest rates, or it's none of the following I mentioned? It is simply production and supply side challenges.
No, I don't know what you will say is the biggest competition. The biggest factor now which is affecting the whole industry is the slowdown in the overall demand caused by the factors like fuel price increases, inflation, interest rates, and the slower pace of economic activity in the economy. All these are hurting the demand not only for Maruti but for the whole industry. And unless this whole situation revives, I think all of us are going to have a cut in the expectations of what was possible in the current year. Maybe next year things will improve, but I don't see too much happening in the current year because there are no signs of economic revival.
Right, let's check in on Maruti stock and what's happening there. The Maruti stock is now striking distance away from an from a 52-week low. So let me just mark that stock. Maruti is today at 951. The 52-week low for Maruti is at about 930, 935. Mr. Bhargav, currently, Maruti is offering, discount across product categories. Are you likely to change that setup given the way how customer demand is slowing down?
Quite frankly, I don't deal with discounts and what discounts are being given. But I doubt if the discounts will go up in the market because, it's almost like saying that if you can't sell the cars, will you give away the cars? No, we don't intend to give away the cars.
Mr. Bhargav, in October, your volumes were about 55,000 units. In the month of November, the current month that is, can we see a much better sales numbers, say 70 to 75,000 units?
Yeah, surely November will be much better than October because as I said, October we lost some 43,000 cars due to the strike.
Mr. Bhargav, there have been fresh reports that Government of India may mull imposing higher duties on diesel and diesel cars. Do you think this will have a significant impact on Maruti's diesel car portfolio?
As I have read in the media, this action, if it takes place, will only take place in the budget. So if it has an impact, it will only have an impact in the last month of the current year, which is March. Nothing will happen till then.
Mr. Bhargav, what about the currency? Because that currently is at a 30-month low. Will this have a significant impact on your financials in the second half of the fiscal because of your yen exposure?
The rupee is certainly having an adverse effect because the yen has appreciated not only against the rupee but against the dollar. The dollar is also appreciated. And the extra money which we get from exports is more than offset by the extra cost of imports. So overall, the impact is negative.
Mr. Bhargav, there have been some issues between Volkswagen and your parent Suzuki Motors. Will this have a significant impact on your India operations?
No, to my knowledge, it will have no impact at all. The agreement had no impact when it was signed and brought into force. Its breaking up will also not have an impact on us.
Mr. Bhargav, how do you see the export market for Maruti panning out for the rest of this fiscal? Are we going to see lower export growth, which also has been a concern for analysts?
The major export potential is in Europe, and conditions in Europe are, as you know, pretty bad. And we are trying to make up the loss of sales in Europe by exploring other markets in other parts of the world. Overall, I think the exports this year will be maybe about 10% less than last year.
Mr. Bhargav, given the way that every auto company, every auto ancillary company, every manufacturing company now wants to set up a base in Gujarat, do you think Maruti will find it difficult to acquire land there?
We are hopeful that we will get land at reasonable prices, and I think the entire process of procurement of the land should be completed latest next month.